Hey everyone, welcome to KSSP Podcast. I am Spencer.
And I'm Katie. Today we are going to be talking about misogyny, and we're going to start off by watching a Red Pill TikTok compilation here. All right. This is volume 23. This is from Red Pill Savant, I guess.
If you're a man who is serious about his life, you need to understand that you are the sum of the people you spend most of your time with. If you understand that very basic premise, you need to be very, very careful who you spend your time with, and you need to create your reality absolutely. If you're an exceptional individual, you are not going to meet exceptional people in your day-to-day life. You're not going to have exceptional friends. These people are still inside of the matrix. They are designed to defend the matrix. You need people who are prepared, think outside of it, and test themselves.
Okay, I don't feel like that's bad advice until you started talking about the Matrix. I got a little lost there, but
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think you should ever think you're better than people either, I guess.
yeah.
Like how he said, you'll never, like your friends will never be as exceptional as you, like, then why are they your friends? Like, I don't know, that's just an odd take, I guess, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's just
and
weird.
people can change over time too.
Yeah, like grow and change.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, your friends should still.
That doesn't really strike me as like a red pill idea, though.
Is the red pill supposed to be like that? Is it
So the
about the
red pill
Matrix?
is yeah, it's from the Matrix.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it basically is just like when misogynists see that they think their view of the world is the true version of the world.
Interesting.
Article that just came out in Psychology Today: the rise of lonely single men.
So I'm not single or lonely, but the joy that she took in that is going to be short-lived, because there's another study that's out right now that said that basically 60% of all women between the ages of 25 and 44 right now will be single and childless for the rest of their lives.
Okay.
So
And
laugh. But I feel that there's going to be a lot of crying into pints of ice cream at 1 a.m. in your future.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to make you accountable for the words that come out of your mouth.
And I will own them.
So you said you were an 8.5.
Yes.
And I asked you, what celebrity within the media or whatever would you also class as an 8.5?
She probably be a 9, maybe.
Okay, so give me someone who you think that you're on the same level as.
There's not many, to be honest. It's quite hard to think.
You see, you can't answer the question because you cannot simply take accountability that you are not 8.5.
Okay. I just feel like that whole conversation doesn't even matter.
Well, yeah, I don't really get it either. Like, are they talking about looks, or are they just talking about like her? Like, is there a new scale 1 to 10 about personality? Like, I
would assume looks.
Okay.
I would assume that's the conversation they're having. But I just don't think that there should be an inherent value tied to how attractive somebody is. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're trying to see them as a partner, but even like you should still treat people as people, whether you're attracted to them or not.
Oh yeah. And I think we've mentioned that before too, but it's always good to reiterate it all, because everybody is important, whether or not you find them attractive.
Yeah.
And has value, whether or not you find them attractive too.
Definitely.
People who train every day don't want to train every day. They are not motivated to train every day. They are something else. Motivation is the wrong word. They are not motivated. They are disciplined.
Okay. More tape.
We have standards now, and these men are hurt by it.
I want every female creator and every woman that's watching this video and tell me, give me your definition of what the bare minimum is and what these new standards are. I'm asking, I want to know.
Okay. Well, the bare minimum is to be treated with respect and like a human being, for one. And in a relationship, obviously, for love to be expressed and all of that.
But isn't that, for everyone? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I
in
just
this context, though,
yes, yeah,
and the new standards are that women are realizing their value more now than we did in the past.
yeah,
And I think that's what they were talking about.
You get to choose how you want your relationship to be, right? What they say. Men are the gatekeepers to relationships. Are you going to be the gatekeeper to being a bitch? Or are you going to be the gatekeeper to be a cold motherfucker? Lay the groundwork down. Let a bitch know what time it is. Or you're just one of those guys that just likes to get by. Okay, babe. Okay. Whatever you say, honey.
I mean, there's a balance you can have there.
yeah.
Like,
Misogyny is also very interesting in how it like tears down men who display any femininity as well.
yeah,
Like it's just
definitely.
like they hate women so much that they are afraid of showing any feminine quality. It's just such a weird, like sad thing.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, there's the other side where you can be like not standing up for yourself at all, too, in a relationship.
Oh,
At the
hold
same
on, hold
time.
on. Sorry. Or Alexa, shut up, stop. Turn off. Okay. Sorry. I just heard something talking in the background and I was like, what is talking? And she's playing a fucking news. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, but at the same time, like, you don't want to be controlling and possessive either.
No.
Like, you definitely want to strike a balance there. And that goes for anybody in a relationship and any kind of relationship, really. What's next here?
Women are the most precious things on the planet. They create life.
They should be protected. They should be provided for. I believe that women are beautiful creatures. It seems a little possessive, but like, I'll take the compliment.
Do you know who said this?
No, I think it's a guy. Like an incel nice guy. Because they're like, I would never let a woman pay for a bill. Maybe they're lesbians. Imagine this is like Mark Twain.
Who do you know that could have said this?
Donald Trump. Because it's like Trump?
Written like an idiot.
Ryan Reynolds. There's that.
You're naming all the attractive men.
Yeah, interesting. That's the only reason I know them.
Yeah.
It's very sexist, but it's like it's a guy who doesn't know he's sexist. Devin Booker.
It's a guy named Andrew Tate. His name is Andrew Tate.
Oh my god! I'm such an idiot!
Misandry is a made-up concept by terrible men.
If misandry is made up, what about this?
Drop a hot take. Men are trash.
Or what about this?
Let's discuss the fragile male ego.
Also this.
Today I ruined a man's day, and it was the best feeling ever.
I do want to say, like, getting offended by getting told that your ego is fragile is just another sign of the fragile ego, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Because obviously, if I would say most things that we take offense to are kind of insecurities that we have, whether we are aware of it or not.
For sure. And I mean, I'm not gonna say that misandry isn't completely real, but
No, I
it's
think it is
not
real.
a problem to the extent that misogyny is a problem.
Yes, exactly. But it is like a real term and it's a real concept, but it isn't as widespread or even, I don't even know if it's really that. I don't think there's much misandry at all.
Yeah,
especially compared to misogyny.
And like, honestly, like, at least from what I've seen, like on the internet and stuff, like most people who might be misandrist or whatever tend to like at least avoid men, which like isn't great either, but they're not like, I guess they're not like actively still, I don't explain what I'm trying to think here.
Like harming them, maybe, or
Yeah, they're
is
not
that
like
what you're like?
actively seeking them out still. Like with
Okay.
misogynists, most of them are, I mean, except for like the black pillars, but like most of them are still trying to like, you know, seek out a like romantic partner that is a woman. Most of them.
Yeah.
And like, I guess it just affects the relationship. I guess it's ultimately just because men have like more of the power in society. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And lastly, can't forget about this.
Men just being men are inevitably going to be trash.
But yeah, I mean, I guess Miss Andrews just totally made up.
Okay.
Men that lose their masculinity don't get respect from women. True feminine women
do not want to see men cry. The funny part about this, fellas, is this is a perfect way to know which women you should disqualify as relationship material. If you're going to be with somebody long-term, live with somebody, and get married to somebody, and they're going to lose respect and attraction for you for being a human, dump her.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
You ghost good guys.
Sometimes, like, the good guys, they're weird.
Fellas, female use these 3 words when they don't really have an answer to your question, or they answer BS. Weird, lame, everything. Ask a female what she brings to the table. I bring everything. What's everything? I cook, I clean. Everybody know how to do that. Even kids. That's not everything. This man asked a simple question. Why do y'all ghost good guys? Most females want to be the best person in the relationship. And if they're dealing with a good guy, more times than not, they're not going to be the best person in the relationship because most good guys have their stuff together. They make good money, got a nice house, nice car, things of that nature.
That's not true. There's plenty of great men who, you know, fail in a capitalist society, and then there's plenty of awful men who succeed. But okay.
Yeah. I feel like just too many times people try to overgeneralize things. Like to make like general statements about anybody.
Yeah, because it's easier.
Yeah.
And if he's up here and she's under him, she's going to need to elevate and meet him at his level. And that's why most females deal with bad and toxic guys. Because when a relationship ends or it's not going her way, when I met you, you were a bum and you didn't have no clothes and you didn't have a job. You were living at home with your mom on an air mattress and da-da-da-da-da-da. This is why most females stay away from good guys.
Okay. I mean, as someone who's been in a toxic relationship before, and a lot of it is manipulation. You know, like
I feel like that can be in any like
and that could go for men and women, and
just in
gay, bisexual, whatever.
Yeah, it's not gender specific, I guess I would say.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they're.
I don't know why he doesn't think women want to improve themselves, though.
Yeah, that's. I don't.
Like, I love the fact that my partner makes me want to be a better person.
Everyone should.
And I mean, no one is the best or worst person in the I mean, unless there's something really bad going on, like abuse or something, then obviously the abuser is going to be the worst person. But like in your typical like healthy relationship, like there isn't a best person.
No.
And like, I don't know, it's just
That's
crazy.
not how relationships work anyways. Like you're supposed to be partners, not someone's better than the other. That's not a relationship. That's weird. That's weird.
Right.
There, I said
that's
it.
Just
weird.
Like
apparently.
Yeah, that's like a control dynamic too.
Yeah, that's not even a relation. Yeah, that's not a relationship. Nobody's better than anybody, regardless of gender or any.
And every time I hear a guy say, "No one wants to date the good kinds like me," it is like an instant red flag. Like, because I mean, most likely it's your personality. Just gonna say it. If that's your point of view, like your personality is probably the reason why you're not finding meaningful relationships. with desired partners.
Yeah, I think that takes some healing on their part.
Definitely. Right, we're about halfway through.
You want me inside of you?
Yeah, that's horrible. Let me give you a story. I was downtown Tampa a few weeks ago with my best friend, and we saw this group of girls getting bottle service. They were like the most attractive people that we could find. So we went up to them, we talked to them for a bit, and we found out that one of the girls has a boyfriend. My friend was interested in her, and she's like, "Yeah, I have a boyfriend, but he's out of town, so I can just send a car for you tonight, and you can cruise." It's literally that easy. So there's a lot of guys that act like hooking up with girls is impressive. But what's more impressive, hooking up with someone that will cheat on their boyfriend or finding a girlfriend that won't cheat on you?
I mean, yeah, I get it. It just seems like I have a feeling, and I could be wrong. I have a feeling this guy blames the woman more than the man for that situation, though, if they were to hook up.
Yeah, because obviously the other person was seeking that out too, so it's not like...
Yeah.
Because they knew.
And he knew.
Like, they're
yeah.
both guilty in that scenario. Not one of them is guiltier than the other.
And I guess in that specific scenario, I might disagree a little. I might say that the person who's cheating is a little more culpable. But, like, they're still both culpable if the other person knows.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just have the feeling that guy would just say, like, oh. Like if it was, like, a man cheating on a woman, he would still blame the woman. But, again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I guess I don't
know him personally, but...
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's something about the way he said it. And the fact that it's on this compilation.
Yeah.
See, the reason I challenge your men have no feelings thing is because I'm a trans man. So I've lived as a fat woman and a fat man.
Wow. Wait, that's it?
Oh.
I guess that's it. You have no reason that you would be on a dating app. And if you're looking for marriage and a life of commitment, what the fuck are you doing looking for your woman on Tinder or Bumble? You know she's getting passed around. You know she's got a ton of options. You know she's exercising those options. You think you're going to find a stable individual on dating apps that has not been through any psychological damage from the...
I don't think you're going to find a single person in your life that you date that doesn't have some kind of psychological damage.
I agree, yeah.
But I don't know. And, like, who cares how many people she sleeps with? As long as, you know, like, you guys are safe or clean or whatever. Or you have that all worked out with your partner. Like, or whoever you're hooking up with. Like, who cares?
But, I mean, obviously it takes two people to, like, mess around, so...
Yeah.
Like, aren't the men on dating apps also just hooking up and why is that? Like, if that's their decision, why does it matter? I just don't understand why people get so obsessed.
That would matter to this guy if it was a guy.
Yeah, but
like, that's like, oh, that's the cool thing to do, you know? But
that logically doesn't make any sense, though. Like,
no, it doesn't. I mean, well, okay. Let me tell you the argument, like what I've heard people say. Like, they'll say things like, I don't know, I would call it pseudobiology in a sense. I mean, the facts are real, but the way they're being implied is not. Like, where they'll say, like, oh, because, you know, women connect more with men chemically, so they're going to form feelings, or, like, women can get pregnant, so they can only get impregnated once every 9 months, whereas a man can impregnate many people, like, as many women, you know, as many women as he wants. Like, that's what I've heard. But
they use that as, like, an excuse to...
Yeah, they view that as that's why men can sleep around and women can't. Which, like, first of all, like, we have things like birth control and condoms. So I don't think the pregnancy thing is as relevant as it was maybe 10,000 years ago.
That's just an odd... I don't
But
know.
it's
I don't know if I can. Like, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like,
I mean, I don't agree with that at all.
yeah, I don't think I'll ever understand it to where I am like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like, I will never understand it in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, I get what they're trying to say, but it doesn't hold up because humans are meant to have free will. So we're not meant to be constrained by our biology. That's
Right.
odd to believe that we should be constrained by our biology.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
weird.
really get
Yeah.
that either.
Because
Like the
then these
naturalist argument.
Yeah, but then these same people will go around screaming about freedom and rights, and it's just trying to wrap like my brain around their arguments just gets hard sometimes, but
Yeah. And
it's
I also
fine.
I don't see what's wrong with dating apps. Like
No.
why can't people use dating apps? And I mean,
Well,
all of
especially
these
in this
things,
day and age, like I don't think
yeah,
many
but
people are.
especially after COVID
Yeah, and like during COVID,
and
obviously
during
no one
COVID.
was. Yeah, or people shouldn't have been going out, but they were. But not a lot of people. There were still people obviously following the
And
rule, like restrictions that were
and like
using
even
dating
if you
apps.
believe everything this guy says, like at least that he said so far, like that stuff is still true outside of dating apps then. Like I don't know why that's
Yeah.
exclusive to the dating apps.
I
But I mean,
couldn't tell
obviously
you.
it's not true, but like if you believe what he's saying, it still doesn't make sense.
Carousel, and you're going to turn this person into your wife, and you're going to live happily ever after Disney style. Yeah, you've lost your goddamn mind.
Okay, if men don't want a woman that's been passed around, what make y'all think that we want a man that's been passed around?
Hold up. Men don't get passed around.
Oh, here we go.
We do the passing around. Men can't be hoes. We are just homemakers. If somebody call me a hoe, I'm not taking that as an insult. You know why? Because it's not easy for a man to get women. Unlike y'all women, we weren't born with value. We have to create value
Oh my
to
fucking
get women
God.
in the first place. And
I hate that fucking statement so much. I've heard it so many times and I hate it. It's so stupid. That women are born with inherent value and men have to create their value.
I don't get that.
Like, yeah. And then they'll say women have value and then treat women like they're not even people. So, you know.
Yeah, but everyone has value. Like we all have value. We're all
Yeah, every person is born
with
with some kind of
value.
inherent value.
Like just for existing. I'm
Like
pretty
that's
sure
why
most of us are
like
valuable.
like it's not like you're gonna see a day-month-old baby burning in a fire and be like, wait, is that baby like a man or a woman? Because if it's a man, if it's gonna grow to a man, then like no inherent value. So let's just let him burn. But if it's a girl baby, then you know we gotta go save her. Like no, you're gonna go
Oh
save the
my.
baby either way.
And if you like the discussion we had earlier about other countries, how they will purposefully abort babies if they're female.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
clearly men have in the patriarchy are born with inherent value too. Like everybody obviously is born with inherent value. It doesn't matter your gender or sex, whatever.
Right.
But clearly in other countries, and even in this country, a man carries the family name, so like they're, I don't know, it's just an odd like, but yeah, they just use that as an excuse to treat people like shit, but it's
Right.
just I've never understood it.
in fact, when you see a man that gets a lot of women, y'all are actually more attracted to him because y'all look at him like, damn, he must be doing something right. Y'all don't want the man that has no options, that gets no girls, that's gonna have to be loyal to you. Hell nah. So like I said earlier, since y'all are born with value, y'all don't have to put in any work to get sex. So if you had a lot of partners, why would a man that you respect take you serious when you gave it up to men easily in the past? What been
Because the relationship isn't just about sex. And I mean, I don't see how that depreciates your value. like as a woman if you do sleep with a lot of guys. That's never made any kind of sense to me whatsoever.
No.
Benefit does he have for giving you a ring? Do y'all know what a high value woman is? It's a woman that's able to get the man that she wants and retain him and get a ring from him.
There's so much wrong with that. First of all, there are women who are not attracted to men in this world. Okay? There are women who are partners with other women.
Yeah,
Second,
that exists.
There's also women who just want to be single, who would rather be single, or who would rather focus on something else, like their career, or if they have a kid or something. Like your whole life, like he's saying women inherently have value, but then he's saying the only value they really have is to the man at the same time.
I mean, I know it's not funny, but it
is. It's kind of funny.
It just doesn't make sense. And like, I just don't get how they can be so serious when they're saying these things. Like anybody whose logic is clearly illogical. Like, if I were to make a point and then realize that I was refuting my own point, I'd probably laugh at myself because it's comical.
I definitely wouldn't post the video.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't. So it's just the how seriousness too when they're. I can't. It's whatever. Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right, we got like 4 minutes left.
Okay.
People will talk about you all the time, but instead of focusing on people talking about you, how about you focus on putting that energy into yourself? It's very easy to take the words from others and turn it to belief. What about the belief in yourself? What about the talents you possess? What about the potential you possess? People are going to box you in all the time. People are going to try to stop you all the time. You're also stopping yourself. I stop myself all the time. In the moment I realized I was stopping myself because the beliefs and thoughts of others, better off my life has gotten. So what's stopping you? What's holding you back? Be honest with yourself. There's nothing wrong with that either because we do it. It's a very, very common thing. Words are powerful. They hold a lot of damage. A lot of us are sitting with that all the time. But the moment we let go of all the thoughts and perceptions and concepts, the better off you'll be.
They want to speak about their
That made sense.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't like terrible advice. As long as you're still like able to take criticism and like change your behaviors, like when they need to be changed, and like grow as a person in general.
Yeah,
but,
I get. Yeah, and I
not
mean,
letting the little stuff matter. I get that though.
Yeah, and I mean, words are like I think it's good to, if somebody gives you constructive criticism, or I mean, on the internet, I don't think people are really good at giving constructive criticism. They're just good at giving criticism. But if you can find something maybe to learn and grow from in that criticism, then that's great. But don't let it stop you from achieving your dreams either. So I definitely get like that. But yes, we can still always
that doesn't mean
grow.
everything
But that doesn't mean. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah.
To speak about their day, like who cares? I care about my day, not yours.
So we all here, right? So we all on this train, right? We understand what the mission is. We understand why we doing it for, right? But peep game. I know she from here. She care about your day. She definitely care about your day. Also here, personal experience. This one, New Zealand. She cares about your day. She cares about your day. Most definitely cares about your day. Oh, and let's not forget, not only does she care about your day, she cares if you ate Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, Kenya, Nairobi. They care about your day, fellas.
Is he to show America? Let me guess. Oh, he's not. I thought he was gonna like end that with like America and be like, these women don't care about your day.
Oh, he was saying, meaning like women from those?
Yeah, he was saying
okay.
women from those countries like are gonna ask you about your day.
I mean, we should all care about each other's day. Like, but I mean, that's just respect again and caring about your partner as a mutual, because we're all mutual. Like on both genders or whatever it is, we're mutuals. So, but I don't think you can label one. I mean, I don't know if I would the group of women from one country as bad or good, because that is just,
Right.
again, a generalization, and
Yeah.
it's easy to make generalizations, like you said, but we shouldn't do that because it's not
Right.
accurate.
Yeah, and it can be harmful
Yeah.
to people.
I mean, I can only speak from experience, but I would say that I'm messed up from women from the way they manipulate, the way they lie by omission. I made a video about that. The way they don't take accountability. As soon as you bring up a problem that you have, they make it about themselves. In my experience, this is all my experience. And I'm not friends with any men to know anything else. Literally, I have no other stories from men.
A man about his experience with another woman. How old is this man? Like at least 23, if not older.
But either way, like, men do those exact same behaviors too. Like, that's not
right. It's not a
gender
gender
specific
exclusive
thing.
thing.
No, it's just
No, it's just a terrible
yeah,
person.
yeah. You shouldn't want those behaviors in your partner, whether they're male or female or whatever have you. Like, that's just bad behaviors in any partnership, even friendships or anything.
And the funny thing is though, like what do these women do to y'all men? Okay, so here's the difference here. Like usually when you ask a man like, oh, what did women ever do to you, he'll say, oh, I was in a bad relationship and I was hurt by that relationship. But with women, with what have men ever done to you, that answer is very different. Sometimes it also has to do with past relationships. Sometimes it just has to do with situations where I'm safe, whereas these men view women as just like, oh, like manipulative, where it's like, and abuse anybody else. So I'm not saying that's exclusive to women and that only men do that, but it's just a lot more common.
Yeah, I would agree. And obviously you see like men getting away with things too. It's like, I don't think this country penalizes rape enough as it should. Like, it should penalize rape. Like, you should get in a lot more, because by not addressing it and not making it worse of a crime, we, as a society, say we accept it, and I don't accept. I don't think a lot of people would say they accept it, but
and
our society needs to be better about punishing it then.
Yeah, we definitely penalize like drug use more than sexual assault.
And now we're punishing abortion worse. Yeah.
Yeah, like if
I get
let's say
what you're
18
saying.
or 19-year-old girl is sexually assaulted, or even older, doesn't matter. Anybody, like if a woman is sexually assaulted and then she wants to abort this fetus, there's certain there's certain states now where that woman aborting the fetus is going to get more criminal time than the person who sexually assaulted her.
Yeah, and that's pathetic of a country, like that. Our country, like I don't know that
I mean, I've even seen similar things happen where like this, like when I was in jail, there was a girl I met and she had gone in to report a sexual assault and they threw her in jail over a trespassing warrant and didn't even address the sexual assault.
That's
not okay.
And then that from that perspective, I can definitely understand why women fear men more than men would fear. Not, again, women can rape, women can like physically assault. That's, again, not gender exclusive, but it just shows that in our country, if you're a man and you do it, you'll probably be fine. But that's wrong, obviously. That's not okay that happens.
Women also, my when you do things for them, it's almost like an expectation, but like so they don't appreciate the things that you do for them. Like no matter how small, no matter how big, it's almost like it's expected. It's like, what's the big deal? I also feel like in a relationship, women feel like they can say whatever they want. Like they can say the meanest, like most hurtful shit because they know that nothing's going to happen to them, or they feel like nothing's going to happen to them. And so that's like another.
What, like you're not going to hit them? I would hope not. But
well, yeah, nobody.
I feel like this guy just had a bad relationship, though. I don't.
Yeah. And like his feelings are valid, but he can't generalize it to the whole entire female
Right.
race. We can't be doing that, guys. It's just and everyone, not just guys. Just as a society, we can't be generalizing to a whole gender,
Yeah.
race, whatever
I
it
mean,
is.
even
Like it's
generalizing about
not
every single
appropriate.
man,
It's
like I can
wrong.
understand that a little bit
Yeah,
more,
you can't do that
and that's a
either.
little more
I
justifiable, but at
mean,
the same time, it's like not. It's still
it's
not.
still
Yeah,
wrong.
and it's not really healthy either.
Mm-mm.
Like this would,
But like
like
we're valid in our experiences. Like if he had a bad experience, that's valid. And he should process, like go through whatever emotions those are. But he like we can't take out
yeah, it's
like
like
what happened to us on a whole whatever. So like in this situation, he can't take it out on all females as if all females would do this to him because they wouldn't.
it'd be like if he had a black partner or something, and then he was like, "Oh, well, all black people are like this," like it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly 100%. That's it's just I don't and I know you mentioned it's easier to generalize, but like I still don't understand it. Like I understand that it's easier because I feel like sometimes it can maybe make your experience feel universal. So
Yeah,
maybe you would feel connected with everyone. If you feel like all women
yeah,
are bad, then you feel
true.
connected with all men or something. But that still obviously isn't an
Right.
okay rationale at all. And it's illogical because that isn't not all men are
Right.
going to experience the same experience that you experienced. So you're
Yeah,
still not connected to all men. Like we should just be connected as
yeah, like
a species, I guess, like humans. We should be able to
right.
connect to each other, but not in this way at all. I mean, like obviously again his
I mean, we can connect with other people who've had bad
yes.
relationships without generalizing all
Yes.
women.
Like you should connect more on this support system of each other rather than hatred for something, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, I think he's almost done.
Experience I've had is like, yeah.
So where are those single 30 to 40-year-old men at that...
Why do you guys keep asking this question on TikTok? You know what the answer is. He is sitting around in peace. Like, I don't even know this chick, and I already feel like she's yelling at me. Like, she is chewing my ass for something. You know, one time...
Oh, hold on. I'm trying to pause.
When I was married.
I mean, this guy looks like I just have a feeling, like a gut feeling, he's been a victim of the divorce court.
Yeah.
Like, he just seems like a man who had a really bad divorce, and like now he hates all women.
Oh, I gotcha. I was like, what do you mean by victim of the divorce court? But I see what you're saying. Like he's been through a divorce, like got served papers or something, kind of.
Yeah, and like had to deal with like things like custody and like alimony
okay.
or whatever. Then, yeah. Okay. I gotta rewind that now.
Okay.
I didn't. My computer glitched out.
Oh. The answer is, he is sitting around in peace. Like, I don't even know this chick, and I already feel like she's yelling at me.
Oh God.
She doing my... I was married. I've been divorced for 7 years.
Oh.
I remember I heard.
Oh, who called it? Who called it? It was me. I fucking called it. I called it. Yes.
Nothing.
You were
angers
right.
a woman more than a man at rest. What? Really, ladies, that's all we want at the end of the day is...
Why? I wish I could ask this guy why he thinks that.
I think everybody wants that at the end of the day. Men and women probably want rest at the end of the day. That's
yeah, and I think they would want their partner to be at rest too, unless it's like a toxic relationship, I guess. But in a healthy relationship, I mean, you would want to see your partner at rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like this guy, I have a feeling like he just didn't want to change himself. in his relationship with his wife. And maybe there's other reasons it didn't work out too, and that's fine. But just from the way this guy is talking about it, like, this definitely seems like, and maybe I'm not saying she didn't have any problems she needed to change, but it sounded like he had some things he probably should have changed about himself. And
Yeah.
he just didn't do those things. And this divorce. And like he just didn't seem like he's willing to listen, which is very important in a relationship. And I mean, if you're happy you're single, then good for you. That's awesome. Well, you do you.
Yeah.
But again, just stop generalizing all women in this way just because you had a shitty ex-wife.
Yeah, 100%, yes.
Peace and rest and quiet, but you come in and see us sitting on the couch, like after we've worked 13, 14-hour shifts, and you just get mad. We can feel it. It's uncomfortable. There's that tension, and these $300 boots get destroyed every 6 months because of how hard we work. We just want some peace.
Oh god.
That's where we are.
Chill in the cowboy boots. Well, that was it. All right.
You know?
Well, that's the video for today. There were a couple other points I was going to go over.
I think I had a couple of things I just wanted to mention too, but you talk about yours first,
Okay.
and then.
Yeah, I guess, like, okay, misogyny is a dangerous ideology. It's rapidly spreading, especially popular with teenage boys, but also men of all ages in general, victims of divorce court, what have you. This ideology is dangerous, leads to entitlement over women and hate for women, and that leads to more violence against women. And this isn't to say that violence against men doesn't exist, like we said before, but much of the violence that is committed against women is a direct result of misogyny. For example, let's say a man is abusive to his girlfriend. He believes that he is above his girlfriend, not her equal. He believes that she should look, act, feel, and think exactly how he wants her to, not how she wants to. In many cases, toxic masculinity tells us that the man is supposed to be in control, when in reality, relationships should be equal partnerships with independent partners. Women are realizing that they deserve respect more and more, and for men who don't see women as equals to men, this is an issue. They want the right to act however they want, regardless of how it's going to affect anybody else. They feel entitled to any woman they find attractive, and they feel that any woman who they don't find attractive has no value. And I can understand being frustrated with trying to date in general, and not everyone is perfect, and yes, toxic women do exist. But to define all women as toxic because you had one or two bad experiences with women is just a logical fallacy, and it's also a dangerous mindset to have. It's the same as saying you got robbed by an Asian person, so all Asians are thieves. You know, it's unfair to stereotype people like this. The best tip I can give for anyone looking to improve themselves is therapy. I feel like this is especially true for anyone with like prejudice, including misogynist, because it's a behavior that needs to be unlearned. So naturally, like some kind of cognitive behavioral therapy would be the best way to unlearn that. Once you work out your deep-rooted issues, you're going to most likely find that the hate you feel for others is going to fade. And things like misogyny, like I said, they're taught to us. They're not inherent characteristics of us as people. So that was pretty much what I wanted to go over.
Okay. One thing that I think thought of when you, because sometimes I feel like I, as a person, just get caught on like semantics. So when you, or when anyone says like misogyny is taught to us, it is. But in my head, I think of like a teacher walking around with a book on misogyny and writing like on a whiteboard, being like, this is what misogyny is. And I'm not saying that doesn't maybe happen somewhere, but I think that a lot of it is more down to, like, I don't think that actually there's no text. I mean, I'm not going to say there's no textbooks on misogyny. I like teaching misogyny, but generally there's not a college course teaching you that stuff, or in high school or middle school. It's more like the way I like to think of it is, or something that I thought of, a way to think of it is like almost a reverse onion, where like you keep adding layers. Like, so it's just the little things that add up over
Yeah, and it's the
time
little thing.
that get added, and then that becomes misogyny, and you have to peel away those layers to almost dismantle that misogynistic onion, if
Each
you
layer,
will.
I would say, it's taught to us by society more so than in a classroom specifically. Yeah, for sure. Like it's
Or
just the
like
way like
online
we're taught,
chat
like boys
rooms.
wear pants and girls wear dresses or whatever. Like, you know, that's something that's taught to us
Yeah.
by society. In that same way is how misogyny is taught to people in general.
Yeah.
And women can be misogynistic too.
Yeah.
I do just want to point that out.
Yes, I think. I don't know if I had a point, but either way, I agree. Because but yes, women can be misogynistic, and it can be anything from. Because women who like fit the mold are like treated with respect versus women who will go against the mold and the patriarchy with the misogyny. Not that, but it's also obviously women should have the choice if they want to be like stay-at-home moms. That's obviously their choice, and they should have that choice. So that isn't necessarily what I'm saying, but it's more when they put down like other women who maybe are feminist. Like women can attack women too, in a sense, and even like have and like deeply held misogyny towards themselves that they don't even realize as well. One other thing that I thought was interesting was how like misogyny likely arose 3,000 to 5,000 years ago at the start of the Bronze Age, when monotheism began to replace pantheism and matriarchal religions.
Interesting.
So I just found that like interesting, like a interesting little tidbit. I like to look into like the history of how these things came to be, because I think we could maybe learn from that. I don't know what necessarily we could. I mean, I'm not religious, so I don't even believe in monotheism anyways, so I'm not. But I definitely see how that could have, because obviously what was it? Because then it also said it gained strength in the Middle Ages, especially in Christian societies. So I can definitely see how that will lead to misogyny.
Yes. And don't know who's read the Bible out there, but it's definitely, if you've read it, it's easy to see how people come to misogynistic beliefs after reading it.
Yeah. And that makes, because it's obviously one God who is a man who they like bow to and surrender all their like freedom or whatever. I don't know. I'm not religious. I've never gotten into religion, so but it's like they have to devote to this God who's a man.
Yeah. I've never even understood why God was a man. Like, even when I was a kid in Catholic school, I was like, why does God even have a gender? Like, shouldn't he be above that?
You would think. And then,
like, I don't know. If there was a God, I don't think they'd have a gender, but
yeah, because they would. We saw that in that dimension video. They'd be in the highest dimension, supposedly, right? If they exist.
The 10th dimension.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And then, why would gender even matter? Like, I mean, I don't think gender.
And why would a God have genitals?
Who knows? Well, because I guess
I'm assuming that's what these people are thinking. And when they think man, I'm assuming they're thinking biological. Because
I guess
like most religious people.
With religion, do they think God was real or just Jesus? Was God?
No, they think God.
Like God was a man, and then he died.
Oh, not that he was a physical man.
Just Jesus.
Jesus. Okay, it's kind of confusing. Jesus is God, but he's also God's son. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Has to do with the Holy Trinity. But yeah, like, so Jesus came to Earth so that God could come to Earth and save humanity.
Oh.
Through crucifying himself.
Okay, that makes sense. So like he came from the higher dimension in a human, like he just basically put himself in a human form. So it wouldn't have mattered if he would have put himself in a man or a woman's body then. It just so happened to be a man. Right. Supposedly happened. Like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it just so happened he was a man.
That makes sense. That makes sense then. I mean, it makes sense as much as it can make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously there's the gender wage gap. I think in 2020,
Yeah.
women earned 84% of what, so I think it is getting better, but it's still there, obviously. And with that statistic, it would take a woman an extra 42 days of work just to earn what a man earned.
It's crazy. You know why part of that
And then
is
obviously,
like
what is
not
it?
the whole. I mean, part of it is obviously just because people think they can get away with it, but also another part of it, I'm just looking at this, has to do with how confident women are in negotiations versus how confident men are in negotiations. And it's not the fault of the woman, obviously, because the reason that they're not as confident when making negotiation is because they don't have that same level of power that a man has, especially in the workplace.
Yeah.
And like they don't want to be as problematic. They want to be less problematic, like as little as they can be.
Yeah, I see that. Because then, like, you don't want to risk, like, because then you, although,
especially if you're a woman with a male
obviously, boss. Yes, yeah, and no boss should ever feel threatened by their employee if they're just having a conversation. Like, that is just about being a good manager and being a healed manager. Like, you're not going to take it as a confrontation, and you'll be able to have those conversations. But I can see like a woman fearing that she's going to get fired over a man, fearing that he'll get fired if it feels confrontational, you know. So that's wrong, obviously. But and then I was also going to bring up the media and just like how female celebrities are mentioned, or articles are written about them compared to male celebrities as well. And even like females pitting like each other, themselves against each other is also
and like
not. I think that also feeds into
when
misogyny.
People, or when it's mostly men, I guess, who say, but when people say like, "Oh, women aren't born with value, men have to create it," what they're really saying is a woman's value is based on how her physical appearance is, and what a man's value is based on what he's contributing to the world. Which everybody's value is based on what they're contributing to the world. But we all contribute something. We all have the ability to contribute something, at least.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have, like, that's just I think that's a capitalistic mindset, that we have to contribute. Like, we're human, but that's contribution enough, just existence.
Well, I don't think contributions are just monetary. Like, I think
no, but I think a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. That's true. But
like,
even like a good therapist is contributing a lot to the world.
100%.
Like, they're not contributing anything monetary, but they're still contributing a lot to the health of society.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess like some people may say they're contributing monetary because they're healing people so that they can work and make money for the society. But
there you go.
That doesn't. I just hate that mindset, because even somebody who maybe is a stay-at-home mom is still contributing to society.
They're
it
raising
doesn't.
A child.
Yeah, but even if they weren't, like
society,
a stay-at-home partner who maybe doesn't have kids, I think they're still contributing. Like, I just don't like the concept that contribution has to be. But I feel like a lot of people see it as you have to create a huge business. That's like, I feel like a lot of times it comes down to like men who they think have created things, like a certain somebody, but or just a certain few people. But I just don't like that narrative either, because everybody adds value to the world, to society, whether it's good or bad, I guess, but it's still something. There's still
capitalism and misogyny are like deeply linked together, at least in America.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I wonder,
I mean, the man was always the one who had to work, and the woman would be the one who wants to stay home and raise kids. But now women want to work, and people get mad about that. That women want to have careers.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense either, because then, like, now some men can stay home if they want to, you know. Well, I mean, nobody can stay home in this economy. Yeah, like
in this economy,
but
no.
We should be able to. But I also want, like, I don't know, I'm not very versed on when capitalism came around, but or I guess the monetary value of things came around. But what about like matriarchal religions? I wonder if they.
Yeah. Well, I know capitalism, like, really saw an increase at least. I don't know if that's when. I don't think it's when it started, but like definitely like with laissez-faire capitalism, which basically just means like completely free market, like no regulation. Capitalism that arose in like the Enlightenment era, but that was before the Industrial Revolution. So, like, yeah, I think before the Industrial Revolution, like the idea of capitalism makes a little bit more sense.
Okay, we'll have to look into that sometime for a show because I'm definitely interested in. Because history was not one of my favorite classes in school because I just couldn't.
We didn't learn anything interesting in most of the history classes, but there's a lot of interesting history out there.
And I just hate being like forced to learn too. I think that's a big thing that always got me in like high school was just being forced to learn. But now that I can learn whatever I want to learn, I like learning again. But I will definitely have to look in because I don't. Because you said industrial ages. Because when was the Bronze Age before?
Oh,
Bronze
yeah,
Age was before industrial age, then, right? Okay. But yeah, and we could even look into what was it again?
Yeah,
matriarchal religion. Sometimes I think that would be
yeah.
interesting as well. Because I highly doubt there was much misandry but there might have been. I don't know. That's why we're gonna look into it. But I don't think that. I don't know. We'll look into it and see. I'm not gonna make any claims right now when I don't have the facts, but no, I don't think we will. But they don't want that information out there. But otherwise, I think that was all that I had to add as well on the topic. So
I think that's everything.
I don't know if you had anything else. Okay. So I guess that was our video on misogyny. Obviously, it's not a good thing, and as a society, we just need to work on. I don't know. I guess you could say healing it in a way, just dismantling it, maybe. But if there's any topic that you guys want us to ever talk about, just leave a comment down on this video here below.
Yeah, you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and we do some Twitch live streams now as well.
So make sure to join those. We'll probably post announcements on our socials before we go live. But other than that, we'll see you guys next time.